Hey guys, welcome back to the Senzu Pop channel. For today's deck profile, we will have something fun featuring some of these cards. Yes, we are going to play around with the new green Zamasu cards in the recent drop box. I've seen builds with Shenrong leader, I've seen builds with the yellow Broly leader, but in this channel, we are here to have fun. Main priority is to have fun, so we're going to play around with this leader. Will be nice to have fun and win at the same time though. So without wasting time, let's see each other after the short intro, alright? Hey guys, so welcome back from the intro. A little explanation why this leader. Alright, so the whole idea here is to destroy hand destruction. Yep, and also to have a indestructible board that your opponent cannot take care of, because this is a 20k, this is a 25k. I understand baby leader can minus quite a lot and all these things are gone, but except for those things, it's gonna be pretty difficult to get rid of your board. Alright, so what is the whole idea for this deck? So let me tell you. The whole idea here is that, okay, if you ask me and said, hey, take a look at your board, you don't really have a lot of green energy. The idea, of course, that's a valid point. However, the counterpoint is, I just realized that while I was looking at all these green cards that I want to play. So the whole idea is, I want to play all these green cards, then I make this deck, alright? And I realized to play them, for example, take a look at this, tap 2, tap 3, they don't really care about the color. This guy, it's a 1, so you need 1 green for this guy. This guy, it's 1 green, 1 any color, and then this guy, it's 1 any color. So among this whole deck, only this guy, and this guy needs a specific green color, which you're gonna have. You're gonna have that 1 or 2 green, but the rest of the energy for all these cards, you can use it as energy. That's totally okay, because a lot of cards that you're gonna play here doesn't need color, so that kind of gels up together. Alright, so this hand destruction is not exactly very good. However, the good part about this is that with Mirror, with the Overwhelm, you realize that when you play a leader that uses Overwhelm, it doesn't need a lot of energy, because Overwhelm cards, basically they are free, right? And at the same time, so you use your energy to defend yourself, get this guy out, and so you start the whole chain, right? So you're still making your opponent discard cards. For example, like using this guy, and at the same time you're hitting with your Mirror. This guy swings at 20. This guy swings at 15. This guy swings at 20 on the Awakened side, and then you start your chain just like that. Alright, so let's go straight and talk about the leader. So once per turn, choose 1 card in your life and add it into your hands. You mill 3, and that's it. So he has an inbuilt self-awakening. So you see here, there is nothing to help you to self-awaken. Actually, the problem I have with this leader is that he awakens a little bit too fast. And he's untapped too. That's really good. Your turn 3 play, it's huge, and I'm gonna show you how to play turn 3, alright? You want to awaken at turn 3. Okay, so when this card attacks, you draw a card on his awakened side. The artwork is amazing on this card, and choose 3 cards in the warp and place them in drop area. Then this card gains 5k for the duration of the turn, so he swings at 20, swings at 15, swings at 20. Very good against Shenrong leader, very good against vanilla Goku. This type of shenanigans they're gonna throw at you, because this guy swings hard. Alright, so let's do this. Okay, let's talk. I think a lot of people knows the rest of these cards, right? I'm gonna talk about the new ones. This Zamasu. This Zamasu is indestructible and activate battle. So if your opponent swings, so usually I just slap down my 1 energy, regardless whether it's a green or non-green, it doesn't matter, because this guy comes out with 1 any color energy. When you play this card from your hand, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle card with energy cost of 1 and KO it. That's pretty good. You know why? Because this is almost my turn 1 play. So your opponent swings with Kappa, swings with Trunks, then you tap 1 and this card comes out and KO that card and then you don't need to take damage. You're gonna take the damage from his leader though, because this doesn't add 5k. If this guy adds 5k, combo with it, tap 1 and it comes out, then this guy, it's really good. But he is not, so if the leader swings, you're gonna have a pretty hard time. But if the leader doesn't swing and he swings with a one cost card, you can tap this guy and comes out. No matter what, you want this guy to come out in turn 1 during your opponent's turn. Use this activate battle. All right, you don't need it using your turn, but however, he has a better chance of surviving if he comes out during your opponent's turn, because it goes back to you after that. All right, then this guy, activate battle 2. Instead of KOing 1 or less, this is 2 or less, and then you can KO him. And so you tap 2 during battle, this guy comes out, 2 or less, KO this guy. So he is actually also pretty good. This is my turn to play during my opponent's turn. Alright? So I always leave my energy open and make sure my opponent comes at me, then I activate his ability and use it defensively. But the good part is, his activate main, that 3 costs. Choose up to 1 green Zamasu card in your hands with an energy cost of 5 or more and play it. Then at the start of your opponent's next main phase, you got to choose one of your green energy and switch it to active mode. So this is a pretty good, because it is a very safe turn 3 play. So what do you do with this guy? Yep, remember, this guy, you don't need to put him into your drop area. So the longer this guy stays on the board, the more problematic it is going to be for your opponent, because essentially it's a 3 cost, but you just need 2 energy because it's a pretty safe play. You get to untap 1 during your opponent's turn. So this guy, so turn 1, your opponent swings, use this guy, he comes out. Turn 2, you have 2 energy, your opponent swings, this guy comes out. Now you have this guy and this guy on the board. Your option is so open. So you have 3 energy right now. What can you do with the 3 energy, assuming your mirror is gonna awaken, because you can just take 1 life. Even if your opponent doesn't swing, that might be a problem if your opponent doesn't swing. But if your opponent swings just 1 time, you will take 1 life and then you're ready to awaken. So his awaken is untap 2. So what do I usually do? Tap 3, play this guy out, take 2 of my no, hold on. So use his ability, take 1, meal 3, so this guy gains 5k, and then play this guy, make your opponent drop a card, your opponent drops a card, then you tap 3, bring this guy out from your hands into the onto the board, and then take either you KO 2 of your opponent's card, not KO, you take it and then you place it in a drop area, or you choose 2 cards from his hands and place it in a drop area. 2 cards in his hands are usually pretty good, but sometimes maybe you need two cards in the battle area. Alright, so you take 2 cards from the hands, then you throw it, and then your opponent just loses 3 cards like that. And 2 cards is not he choose, you choose, even though it's at random, it's still a pretty powerful ability. Alright, and then you could tap choose 3, because then what you do is you awaken. Now you have 2 energy open. Remember, leave the green energy tapped, because you need the green energy to you know, kind of awaken, to untap at the next turn. What you can do here is you tap 1, so you tap 1 energy and bring this guy and this guy into your drop area, and this guy comes out. Now on your board, you have a 15k, you have a 25k double strike, and then you have a 20k. And when this is indestructible, every time this guy swings, your opponent, excuse me, your opponent has to choose 1 card from their hands and place it in the drop area. So basically, he cannot be removed from the board, and every single turn, your opponent has to drop one, keeps on dropping 1. And that's very painful. So how he comes out is, for 1 energy, what you can do is Zamasu the Undying with this guy. So 2 costs, 3 costs, so you have the perfect 5 costs, and then this guy comes out. You know what's the thing about this guy? So you have 1 energy, so you swing with this guy, your opponent chooses 1 card, drop. So in total, 1 card, 2 cards, your opponent discard, you discard 2 of your opponent's card at random. You still have 1 more energy open. Tap that 1 energy. If you have this guy in your hands, put this guy into a drop area, activate this thing again. Yep. play this card. So this card you can actually discard this card itself to play this card. So now you could make your opponent discard one more card. That is 5 cards in one turn and 2 at random. Yep. So it's quite devastating because your opponent hand size, let's be real, 8, 9 at turn 3. You already make him discard 5 in turn 3. And you know what's the shitty part for your opponent? It is still a safe play because at the start of your opponent next turn, you untap 1 green for your defensive play. So I play 3 power burst. Power burst, you can take Toa back, or 2 Heroes Mafuba. Heroes Mafuba is very, very strong because if there is a green god in your battle area, so happened that this guy it's a god, this guy it's a god, this guy it's a god, and then they are indestructible. This guy it's a god, so all your gods are indestructible. Most of the cards that stay on your boards, they are gods. So your hero Mafuba, it's online all the time. Alright, but he needs a green energy to play, so take note of that. Yep. Alright. So, like, turn 1, you could already use this guy, make your opponent discard. This card, just make your opponent discard. This is the card. If you have this girl, you want to search for this, or this. It's totally okay. Just make sure that this girl is in the warp because it is very important for her to be in the warp. And this would help you to fish out. If you overround for 3, it's a 15k heater. Take a look at top 3. Pick 1 battle card and add it into your hands. Most of these guys are in battle cards. One of the things I'm trying to do is, technically you don't need this guy you don't need the 1k, right? Change this to the Son Goku because this lady could fetch your negate in your hands when you need it. So when it's clutch, you need it. And this lady, except for Heroes Mafuba, can pick up everything on your deck. So if I'm gonna make some changes, maybe Power Burst will be the new Goku negate in the previous set. Alright, so that's that. So what you do in turn 4? Turn 4, if you feel like confident that you're gonna win, because it's a pretty unsafe play, choose the 3, put it. This guy absorbs Toa brings out this guy. Your opponent sends 3 cards in his hands and send it to their warp. And this guy gains double strike for the duration of the turn. Take note that this guy should stay on the board first, swing, and make your opponent discard 1. So make sure your opponent discard the 1 card first. Oh no, you don't have to. You can make him send 3 to the warp and then make your opponent discard 1. So the next turn, if your opponent doesn't kill you by then, which, let's be honest, it's a little bit difficult because you are rather defensive also at the same time, he's gonna drop another 4. So usually your opponent cannot get back all this momentum. Yep. So that is the deck profile here. You could be safe and play at turn 5 because this guy can come out on turn 5 because you're using Union Absorb, Union Fusion Absorb. So this guy will stay on the board. He is a double striker, so he swings for infinity because you will have so much cards in the warp anyway. And then take note, this guy, if you have 10 more black cards in your warp, your opponent chooses. So he evolves on top of this, and then he gains triple strike. He is a triple striker at 25k, and your opponent have to get 10 or more black cards. And your opponent has to choose 3 cards in their hands additionally and send them to warp. So this is a good turn 5 play. However, it is unsafe. Take note, you could swing with this guy first, then play it. Because Xeno Evolve, you play it in active mode. Alright, so good. This is the deck profile I have for you. Sorry about my nose. It's a pretty short one this week, but however, I hope you like it. Play around with this, you know, like I said, turn 5. Turn 3, your opponent needs to discard around 4 to 5 cards. The next turn, another 4 cards, and they will try to think how to get this card off. However, Kami doesn't do anything unless they minus 20k from this guy, which if they are playing red. If not, this guy, it's gonna stay on the board, and then your opponent will have a pretty hard time. Alright, so I hope you like the deck profile, guys. See you guys in the next video. Alright, ciao, bye.